Hey guys, so welcome to Pump Chat. Today we're going to be talking about the BabyBuddha pump. The BabyBuddha pump is one of the tiniest breast pumps on the market, and it is designed to be powerful, portable, versatile, and customizable. This pump was designed with pumping moms' needs in mind, and it's designed to allow us flexibility and portability without compromising performance. So to date, this pump was launched in 2018. We've had two different versions of the pump hit the market. So this is actually version 1 of the BabyBuddha. This is what is affectionately known as version 2. You can see that they are identical. Black screen, white roller balls, white bodies. I had to put cow stickers and a different lanyard on it so I could keep these straight because some moms were working with version 1, some moms were working with version 2. There was a difference between these two in terms of the suction power. Version 1 was incredibly powerful. It was almost too powerful for the majority of moms. A lot of moms were really struggling. You had to really use hacks. The majority of moms had to be hacking the pump in order to be able to use it. Some didn't, but the long pull on stimulation, which is what BabyBuddha is famous for, is that long sustained suction on the stimulation mode, was too much for a lot of people. Version 2 reined that in just a little bit, just enough so that it was still powerful, but that we had a lot more moms that were able to use this comfortably. Now, as we're talking about this, what I want you to know is that there is going to be a new BabyBuddha pump. I'm sure if you are on Instagram or Facebook, you've seen all the buzz that's going on right now. This is the new BabyBuddha pump. It is everything you love about the current BabyBuddha pump with the addition of an additional mode that is going to make it more versatile for more people. So this does look a little bit visually different, so you will be able to tell the difference between these. This one is going to be known as the BabyBuddha 2.0. So this one has a gray body, a chrome rim, and a black roller ball. And version 1 and version 2, you actually have to check and see how many levels are on stimulation. Version 1 had 5 levels on stimulation. Version 2 had 6. So let's get into what makes this pump so popular. So I'm going to show you a suction graph on what pumps normally look like. So most pumps have two different modes. They have a stimulation mode, which is short and quick bursts to help stimulate the milk flow, and then longer, stronger pulls to help empty the breast. This is very similar to the way babies nurse, in that babies use light, short, fluttery sucks in order to elicit the letdown, and then they use longer, stronger pulls to help empty the breast during the letdown. And the letdown is what transfers the milk with a pump. So BabyBuddha was unique in that its stimulation mode did not look like other pumps. So you had 10 short bursts and then 1 longer burst. On version 1, there were 5 levels of this. On version 2, there are 6. But you basically had 10 short pulls and then 1 longer sustained pull. Where this was a little bit of a challenge for some people is that this mode could be really useful for people. We do have other pumps with this mode that did not have quite the high level on that long pull that people really liked. For BabyBuddha, a lot of people absolutely adore the strength of that long pull. But a lot of people were having trouble because they were just a little too sensitive. They needed that long pull to be decreased, not by a ton, but by a substantial amount. And we did have hacks that could do it, but sometimes you don't want to hack pumps. A lot of moms are actually kind of pushing back against that. It's not what they want. And then on expression, you had a wider range of levels. So some pumps, you turn them on and their expression mode starts at 40 cycles per minute, which is on the slower side. So yes, they have those longer, stronger pulls, but they're dramatically slower. The version 1 and version 2 of the BabyBuddha, their expression level actually started closer to a typical stimulation mode with like mid-level suction and faster speeds, and then moved on to the longer, stronger pulls that BabyBuddha is famous for. So we had a lot of people who were actually using this pump without ever actually using stimulation mode. They were using expression mode only. And they were using levels 1 and level 2 of expression as like a mini stimulation mode and then moving up for their expression mode. Now, what's getting ready to hit the market and what is going to be amazing for so many moms that I am super excited about is this third mode. So BabyBuddha will now have that soft stimulation mode, which is what they are calling their new stimulation mode, and it is going to be short bursts without that periodic long pull. So if you are a current BabyBuddha user, sometimes you will hear people ask, is there any way to turn the long pull off because they really like that pattern in stimulation, but they don't want the long pull. That is exactly what this is. The pattern is going to feel exactly the same as version 2 stimulation minus the long pull, which means you're going to have speeds up above 80 cycles per minute, which is amazing for a portable pump. So many portable pumps cannot do more than 70 cycles per minute, which has meant some people really struggled if they needed faster cycle speeds to ever get the freedom of a portable pump. This is going to take care of that. You will still have that traditional stimulation mode that BabyBuddha was famous for and is famous for good reason, but it is going to be slightly different. So right now on BabyBuddha version 1 and 2, the long pull is the long pull. It doesn't matter whether you're on level 1 or level 6. It is exactly the same. It goes to about 270 mmHg. Now, when you turn this pump on to that mode, level 1, that long pull is going to be about 180 mmHg, which is substantially lower. So our more sensitive moms will still have access to that pattern, which is really good at eliciting a letdown faster, particularly for your second and third letdown of pumping. That is when I see that mode really shines, is that it has the ability to help stimulate those subsequent letdowns when traditional pump stimulation is not doing it for a mom. So you'll now have access to that, but if you're on the more sensitive side, you're going to have the ability to use the first 1, 2, and 3 levels of the stimulation without getting to that full long pull. But if you're somebody who loves that long pull just as it was, levels 4, 5, and 6 are still going to be exactly what you saw. So you're still going to have access to the same suction. We're just going to have access for other moms as well, which is going to be amazing. Expression level is essentially exactly the same. So for current BabyBuddha users, you will be able to transition to this pump if you decide that you want to do it without sacrificing the efficiency that you have now. Most moms are going to find that they're going to be able to get faster letdowns with this new pump. They're going to be able to possibly cut pump times because this soft stimulation mode should help for some people that are struggling with subsequent letdowns. The new modified traditional stimulation mode should help with moms who are more sensitive. We should see that overall, this is still going to be the same powerhouse dynamite pump it always has been. It's just going to be accessible to more people, which is amazing. I love this. I'm super excited to see it hit the market. I've spent hundreds of hours testing this, playing with it, making sure I know what it does. It still hooks up to everything that the traditional BabyBuddha hooks up to, which is essentially everything on the market. I'm going to link a video down below, and my review on the cups is going to apply to the version 1 and version 2, as well as the 2.0 BabyBuddha. It's all the same. The pump is all the same. It is going to work. If the cup worked with version 1 and version 2, it works with 2.0. It has the same limitations, the same drawbacks, all the same things for you to consider, which I think is fantastic because a lot of times when a pump company comes out with a new version, there's so much that we have to learn. Same thing with the hacks. The hacks are proving to be essentially the same because the pump is functioning the same. We're just going to have access to slightly different setting options to utilize. But let's talk about why this pump is as versatile as it is. So the key thing with this pump is that they made it incredibly easy to pump single-sided. This is your T connector. You can slide this back and forth. So I'm trying to get that focused. So this is a 3-way valve. So you can slide it left, right, center. When it's in the center, it's double pumping. So you get suction to both tubes. When it is on one side, you're only getting suction to one side. So these adapters make this pump super easy to work with. All you do is pull these white adapters off, and this is a fairly standard tubing size. And if this tubing size is not the tubing size you need for your hack or for any reason, all you do is you put their standard size tubing on our adapters. This allows you to single pump, double pump, hook it up to anything you want, which is incredible because everybody's body is different. The best analogy I've ever heard for flanges and flange setups is that it's just like running shoes. What is going to work for you is not going to work for somebody else. So we really want to make sure that this has the ability to be customized for you. So let's go over flange options with this pump. So what this pump comes with is a 24 millimeter one-piece flange. It does have a cushion that's about 22, 23 millimeters. This is going to be roughly the right size for most moms in that first week or so postpartum, but then a lot of moms may find that they need to go smaller, which is not a big deal because all we have to do is pull this apart. We do have for moms who are concerned that they love this cushion in the beginning, but then they need a different size. We've got legendary inserts, which means we can get you all the way down to a 15 millimeter, which is going to cover most moms. With still having that cushion, we still have the ability to use the pump parts that your pump came with. This is probably my favorite hack for the BabyBuddha. It's just legendary cushions, does the trick. These flanges are really sturdy, they're really durable. I love this backflow protector that comes with it. So this twists. A lot of pump backflow protectors are disc-shaped membranes. Let me grab one to show you. It's like this is a disc-shaped membrane. It's going to pull and it's going to collapse. It doesn't do anything more than that. It's just up and down. This actually twists. So when you have the pump on, and I can turn this on to show you. Give me just a second. I'll actually show you how easy it is to get this hooked up. You do have to make sure that you assemble things correctly. So we're pushing buttons. Don't mind me. All we're going to do is get this hooked up, and I'll show you that this actually twists and falls. I'm going to turn this on with the new pump. So this doesn't just go up and down. It has a slight twisting motion, which means it's going to be a more comfortable pumping experience for a lot of people. It's going to more closely mimic the comfort that we can get with a piston style motor. And then let me actually just pull this diaphragm right off. I'm going to hook this up. This is a Spectra style backflow protector hooked up to Medela parts, but you can do this in any number of ways. But it is going to be a very different experience than this, which is just pulling straight back. But you can also see this is only on level 3 of the lower suction. This diaphragm here is not one that I would use. It's actually maxing out. So this one would actually cause you to lose suction. Other Spectrum style membranes are going to be a little bit thicker. They can actually cause you to gain suction, which is not always a good thing. And it also means that because these diaphragms were not designed for this style of pump, that sometimes we get unpredictable results related to how things are getting hooked up and the particular diaphragm. I will link below. I spent a lot of time testing to see these disc style membranes. If you are trying to use a disc style membrane with this pump, I'm going to recommend the pink Spectra Maymom ones because they have performed most consistently and most closely to what the pump should do. And one pink membrane seems to function just like the other pink membranes, whereas with the white ones, it's kind of hard to tell because they could be from any number of brands. So that's just my 2 cents on that, and most of my moms who have followed that recommendation actually really like it. And then we have this, which is the Easy Fit Kit, which is actually a 2-piece flange. So this is sold on the website. It does come in 28, 24, and 21. And then you can actually get 19, 17, and 15 from a different brand that will connect to this as well. But where this is really powerful is that it actually allows you to hook up additional flanges. So let's say that you want to use your BabyBuddha backflow protector, but you really need a 15mm hard plastic flange. You want to use the Maymom Pano. We get this little adapter here from Amazon. We pop this right on here, and all of a sudden this setup is exactly your size, which also means we can hook you up to Pump and Pals. We can hook you up to Lactec. We can hook you up to Bear Shields, which is another one of my favorites with the BabyBuddha for a lot of people. We can hook you up to all the different flanges, which is not something we can do with every other portable pump. A lot of portable pumps are sacrificing efficiency of the motor in order to allow the motor to be smaller or more powerful. That does not always translate to the ability to use everything with it. So we'll have lots of issues where other portable motors just don't perform quite the same. Now, a big question I get with this is this considered a primary pump? And it really depends on your definition of primary pump. Primary pump can mean 2 different things. A primary pump could mean a pump like the Spectra S1 and S2, where we have full control over suction and speed at any given time. So we can pair low suction with low suction with high speed, high suction with low speed, high suction with high speed. That is something that we can't necessarily do with a portable because we have a little bit less control because they're kind of preset. You have levels, which means level 1 is going to be lower suction, higher speed, and then the speed is going to decrease with each level that you go up, and your suction is going to increase with each level. So no, you're not going to get that type of customizability, but what this pump does, especially the 2.0 version, is that we're going to have the ability, if you need a particular combination of suction and speed, we likely have the ability to do the speed with this pump now. We would just need to modify the parts that you're using to access the suction levels you're looking for. So I have hacks that can reduce the suction. I have hacks that can drive the suction up. In this case, I'm really excited about it because I have a lot of moms who need higher suction, higher speed. That is something that something like a Spectra, a Medela Symphony, and a Meta Platinum, they have the ability to do that. We have not been able to help those moms really get access to portable pumps, because if that's what your body needs and then you're not getting the milk, you're not meeting your goals. With this one, I will not have the ability to hook that up to other flanges and different setups depending on the mom's need, their anatomy, their comfort, their budget, which is a big one. We're going to be able to do that. So this pump is going to be a way for a lot more moms who have been stuck to the wall and have not really had options that didn't compromise their milk supply to be able to pump on the go. So that's incredibly, incredibly powerful. So overall, I think the big thing to know is that, with the original BabyBuddha and then the updated version 2 BabyBuddha that launched, I think about 18 months ago now, it was too powerful for some people. There were still about, maybe 5% of people that were just really, no matter what we did, it was still too powerful. We could try the hacks, but if the hacks aren't doing it or the hacks are not a good fit for your anatomy, we really didn't have a lot of options. If you needed faster cycle speeds, that was something that this pump couldn't necessarily do for you, which was a challenge, because then we had, additionally, probably about 5% of people, so about 10, about 90% of people were able to be successful with this pump when it was hooked up correctly for them and customized properly. But there was 10% of people that this just didn't work with. But that's pretty consistent with most of our higher level pumps that we really like. We see the same thing with our other recommended portables. Wearables have a slightly higher failure rate. And then our heavy duty go-tos when we are trying to handle a vulnerable milk supply solution, those are our heavy duty pumps. Again, they still have about a 10% failure rate because your body is unique and what you need is going to be unique, and not every pump is going to meet every person's needs. But I think we're going to see a slightly decreased amount of people who are struggling with this pump, and I think we're going to see a lot more people who have been able to use the pump, but it just was never optimal for them, be able to transition to using this almost exclusively and doing really, really well with it. So I think that's going to be a big thing coming up. Is this is one of our big drawbacks is actually being addressed by the new pump. So I'm super excited to see that happen. In terms of things to know, this pump is really strong, and because of the sustained suction pattern, it can burn through replacement parts. So if you are using a Spectra style backflow with a Spectra pump, I expect it to last you about 2 to 3 months. If you're using a Spectra style backflow with the BabyBuddha, I expect it to last you about 4 to 6 weeks. So it is going to dramatically decrease the life expectancy of parts that are meant for pumps that function very differently, or parts that are overly thin, because this pump is just going to put them through the ringer. It's going to blow through their capacity to handle the suction a lot quicker than we would expect. So that is something that you need to know, is that you will need to replace parts. So keep that in mind when you decide what parts you want to use with it, of your options for your suction needs and your fit. A lot of people have found that they're getting better results going with the BabyBuddha parts that it's originally intended for. Before the Easy Fit kit was available, we really didn't have the ability to modify the pump because we only had the one-piece flanges that it came with. So now that we have the Easy Fit kit, it does give us the ability to use parts that are meant for the pump, so that it does decrease some of that. You'll see a lot of things online about how it gets hacked to other parts. That can be for one of two reasons. Either one, we didn't have flangizing options for you in any other way, which we do now. I can hook, all the way down to 10 millimeters up to a BabyBuddha style backflow protector for the best pump experience. But two, we just didn't have a lot of people who were looking to buy different parts. A lot of people started pumping with a heavier duty pump like the Spectra or the Medela Symphony, and they already had their full sets of parts before hitting that 3 to 4 month mark, when a lot of moms are like, okay, I really need to get something more portable now that everything's stabilized. So they wanted to be able to use that. If you're trying to use the parts that you have, we should definitely give it a try. If you're just buying it because that's what you saw on social media and figured that was the way to do it with this pump, we should probably look at which option is going to be best for you. But overall, I think this is a really solid choice. It's very cost effective. It is incredibly efficient, and it's going to help a lot more moms be able to pump on the go without compromising efficiency. So comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what your questions are. And I hope this helps you as you're picking your pump. Okay, have a great day, and we'll be back next week for more pump chat.